Okay, I was gonna go, but I needed to share this because I need to start paying attention to my dreams. I've stopped doing it. Um, but I had a dream last night, and it was a crazy dream. The dream was some reason it was kept being about baby animals and babies. It was like a baby. I was in the apartments when we first moved to the States. It was like the second house we lived in when we moved to the States, and it was the backyard. The backyard was real lush and green with bushes, and it was just really lush. And it was almost like a little mini meadow forest in the backyard. It was just, but it was not like grown out of. It was, low cut grass, but it was nice. And there was a baby deer like running in the backyard, and it was like a little. It was a baby deer, but it was a little weird. It was a little deformed. Like it was like lame or something a little bit. Like one side of it was to one side, and it didn't have the bright brown color. It was kind of dulled out. And something came and killed the deer. I don't know what this something is, but it came and killed the deer. And so I ran into the house. Ran into the house, and my brother was there. And I'm starting to lose the dream now. Um, my brother was there, and there was a baby that was there, a human baby, and it was every we were all black for except black and Asian, and then the there was a baby that was there, and it was something that was after my brother and the baby, and my brother, the baby was a little baby girl. My brother was probably like preteen age, like maybe 12, 13 in the dream, and he was pretty tall then, tall, um, and there was something that was after him, and that's how he lost his eye. My brother does have, so that was what happened in the dream, and coincidentally, uh, yeah, and so I was hiding for some reason. It wasn't after me. It was after. It was looking, and my brother happens to be the baby of our family, so I think it was after the small things. And in the dream, I think I was my age. I'm feeling chills. Maybe a little bit younger. In the dream, I might have been like mid 30s, which the age doesn't make sense because my brother and I are only like 8 years apart. But in the dream, I was in my mid 30s, but my brother was like preteen, somewhere teenager, between 12 and 15. And the saddest major star, I never saw my brother when he was 15. I think I saw him like when he was 9, and I saw him, once when he was like maybe 13. I never saw him when he was 15. Then the next time I saw him, I think he was like 30. I don't know. It's just, but anyhow, didn't see my brother grow up. And we lived in the same household, but it's like when I went away, because it's a big year difference for siblings, because I was in college, and then I went on to try. I was going to try to make something of myself and help my mom, but none of that happened. But I tried. Um, and so Yeah, so I don't know what that dream was all about. There was more to the dream. I forget it. Oh, part of the dream was about a job, and the job was a banking job, and but it was a low level position, like a data entry job, and it was a bunch of us that were candidates, and we were all the same day training. There was a big, like huge, what appears to be like a high school cafeteria, but it was like an auditorium, supposed to be used for the auditorium for the training people for the job. And then there was a big screen, a drop down screen, and we were people were doing data entry, and you could see the stuff pop up on the screen. And I don't know what it was. I was doing something different. I was there, but I think I was socializing or something. I don't know what we're trying to, socialize. I don't know what was happening. And later on at night, it was like a campus for work, and we lived there. And later on that night, I was in my jammies, and the director came by, and the director looked like the lady from Job 2. Oh, you know what? I know why I had this dream. I know what this dream is trying to tell me. It's the director about Job 2 that's going to be a little shaky. So the director came by, and, she was talking about work. And then I was telling her, yeah, I can do the data entry or whatever like that. And she gave me some paperwork for the stuff. And again, it was like new technology. I was working on it, but it was showing up on this big screen in the auditorium, and all that stuff immediately went to the corporate office, or it was just some different. It was different than the type, it was different. And so I was working in my jammies, because again, it's a work campus, so we're there 24 hours. It's almost like you would at a university. You'd be working at your jammies. Sometimes you'll see people in the computer lab, and it was like that kind of thing. But it was all focused on the auditorium. And at one point, then this is, I think, when we got to the house, and the director somehow was like, I don't know how I overheard this conversation, but when she left me with the paperwork, she was like, "Oh, let me see this." And she was taking the logistics of it, I guess, so that she could monitor it. And she was just real snippy. And then she went to this other guy, and she was telling, and for some reason, I don't know how I heard this conversation. Maybe it was telepathically, but it was like I received that conversation. I heard, I don't know how to, I received it somehow. I heard it, but I don't, it was like I wasn't, it's hard to explain how it was. I heard the conversation, but I wasn't like right there in front of them. I might have been around the corner and overheard it, or I heard it telepathically or somehow, but it wasn't direct. And what I heard her say was, "Oh, she's too weird for an annual position," or something like that. Something like that, like something about me being too weird, for a real job. Basically, is what it boiled down to. So I think the reason I had this dream is maybe because job number two. That's what the thought process is from the director there. The director was the one that actually interviewed me, and for some reason, they started the background check process and whatever, and and everything was good, and it came back, and now it's just for corporate review. So I think that's where my dream came about, because that's where the hang up is gonna be. So yeah, but anyways, I am really gonna get out of here now, and do some more musical vibrations just for me, so that I can get out there. And it's so ironic. I was looking up Immortal Technique yesterday, and when I was at work a couple of days ago, the manager was talking about Dance with the Devil, and I was like, okay. And then last night or yesterday, I did like a playlist, and the song was on there. And I don't like songs about drugs and sex and all that stuff. And I heard some of that, and I really wasn't into it. But somehow, when I did the Immortal playlist again, of course, the song popped up again. So I'm gonna try to listen to it. But again, I have to be careful of my spirit, because, like I said, I can't be doing stuff just because everybody else do it. It's not in my spirit. I can't. That's I can't do that. I cannot do wrong things or bad things, because it affects me more than it affects other people, because it's just not in my nature. And so when I take in stuff that's negative, like if this is, you know, uh, it's a thing, like if it's about drugs and sex and all that kind of stuff, um, you know, if it's about all of that, it's gonna mess with my spirit. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the way it makes me feel. But then it's another part of me that's like, I respected my manager. So I would be like, okay, I want to hear what it is that he liked about this, because it's quote unquote popular. But everything that's popular is not good. So I have to promise myself before taking part of this music, because music is a very spiritual thing, that if I hear anything, but I should already know by the title, Dance with the Devil, but the group has some very conscious rap out there. So if I hear anything that makes my spirit, I shouldn't even look at it, because my spirit is telling me don't even mess with it. Hey, we'll do this together.
I once knew a nigga whose real name was William. His primary concern was making a million.
Okay, yeah, I can get to this. I know where this is going. It's about. That's what I heard, and I was like, I couldn't. I don't like the word nigga over and over.
years she was sober. Her son's heart simultaneously grew colder. He started hanging out, selling bags in the projects, checking the young chicks looking for hit and run prospects. He was fascinated by material objects, but he understood money never bought respect. He built a reputation cause he could hustle and steal, but got locked once and didn't hesitate to squeal. So criminals he chilled with didn't think he was real. You see, me and niggas like this have never been equal. I don't project my insecurities on other people. He feeded for props like addicts with pipes and needles, so he felt he had to prove to everyone he was evil. A feeble-minded young man with infinite potential, the product of a ghetto-bred capitalistic mental. Coincidentally, dropped out of school to sell weed, dancing with the devil, smoked till his eyes would bleed.
Okay, I get. Okay, I can't. I get it, and it's supposed to be a positive message, but it's too much negativity in it that I can't expose myself to, so I can't listen to that. And that's what I'm saying. Even with conscious rap, and these, my manager really liked this. So these are real stories for real people. But again, this is not something I want to introduce into my life. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to listen. I don't want to listen to that. But anyways, thank you for listening to that with me. So I wouldn't be scared. It's like watching a scary movie together because you're scared to watch it by yourself. So yeah, I can't get with that. That's too much for me. But I do like, as y'all know, for people that watch Third World, that's the truth that I understand. This is truth too, but it's not my reality. That's for somebody else. It's not for me. So, anyways, from anything in life, you take what you can and grow from it. Why am I even talking? It's almost 9 o'clock. Take what you can and grow from it. And I gotta get out of here. So bye. Oh, and I'm gonna say this, and I think sometimes I say things like now I'm about to say this because I think other people may hear or the spirit may generally hear, but um, I'm always on time for everything. Yesterday, uh, now I'll explain it to y'all now. Just a weird conundrum of things. Everything was going absolutely perfect. I was venting, doing what I got to do. Time for me to get ready to go. And I was like, hey, where are my keys? I spent like 10, 15 minutes looking for my keys. So I was about to call in for work. And then when I called, as soon as, they were going to get the boss of someone else, she thought that I was somebody else. And then she found out who I was. And then she was like, oh, hold on, it's you. And then she went to go get the boss. And then as soon as she went to get the boss, I found my keys. But I was like, I can't just hang up because then that would be rude. So I waited for him to get on the phone. And I was like, hey, never mind. And then he was like, is what? What's going on? Everything okay? And I was just like, yeah, see you in a few hours. So I ran out. I thought I was on time for the bus. I got there and, I waited. I must have missed the bus by like 1 minute or 2 minutes because it just didn't come. So I sat at the bus stop for an hour and I ended up being late. And I tried to call. When I did try to call in, the call kept dropping. Then the office was trying to call me back. They didn't know it was me. They kept trying to call me back. And then I kept trying to call them back and it kept dropping. I was like, forget it. I just wait till I get there. Then when I got there, anyways, I spoke to my manager. I'm gonna leave that alone. But yeah, but when I have days off, quote unquote off, my thing is to make sure my spirit is prepared before I hit the world, because when you're going to work, you're just going to work. You basically know what spirits are there. You know who you're dealing with, basically. But when you're going to handle personal business in environments that you normally don't handle business in, you are not aware of every person, place, thing, entity, spirit, vibe that you may come in contact with. So you have to prepare yourself. You have to prepare yourself mentally and spiritually. I'm a very spiritually sensitive person. I mean, I feel everything, every single thing. And that's why sometimes when I'm going through things, people think I'm rude because I stay focused on what I'm doing. One, so that I can get done what I'm doing. And then two, because I can't have my spirit just tossed everywhere. Like with this, I'm very susceptible to things. I'll just put it that way. And it's been obvious in the past couple of weeks. Somebody said something, it wasn't true, but I made it true. So I'm very susceptible, so I need to be careful and be aware of that. So that's why I need to pray more. And, maybe that's God's way of making me do that, because in the past it hadn't been like that, but it is now. So, but I really am going to get myself together and get ready to go now because it is late. And actually, it's probably too late because by the time I get out there, I'm going to miss all the cases, but I'm going to try. So, bye.